Hi guys, today we're going to be fermenting some Maitake so that we can have it a little bit later in the year and it will still be good. So I'm just going to break it apart into smallish but not too small chunks and throw it in this large jar that I've got over here. It's on the scale so that we can weigh out how much Maitake we're putting in, and the reason we're doing that is because we need to know what 2% of the weight is in order to add the salt, which preserves this and helps with the fermentation process. So, don't want to lose any Maitake, so as we break this apart, slowly we're going to keep just adding more and more pieces to the jar. This little stump I'm going to save aside and make stock out of, because it's going to be just a little too tough for this particular preparation. And then I have this nice big piece right here that we're also going to do. I'm going to cut off this dirty little stump and we'll make stock from that later. I'm going to take this off the scale for just a second so that I can press down on it. It's not good to press down on top of the scale because it can ruin the pressure sensor and it will give you inaccurate readings as you go forward. And I love my scale and I want it to last for as long as possible. So in we go. Go. And last but not least, we're going to leave this nice big piece here on the top to catch the little pieces to keep them from floating on the surface, because the ones that float on the surface can rot and that will ruin the whole jar and we don't want that. Okay, so this is about 785 grams of Maitake, and we want 2% of that in salt that we're going to add to the water, and I need to clean my measuring cup, so I will be right back. Okay, so now that we've cleaned our measuring cup, we're going to let the water run until it's hot. The reason we're letting it run hot is because we want the salts to dissolve in the water, and we need 15.7 grams, so we're going to use 16 grams of salt. A little bit more than 16 grams of salt, but that's okay. It's not going to harm the fermentation. Give that a quick stir so that the salt dissolves. This is just a quick little brine. And once it's dissolved, pour it over the top of the Maitake. Okay, so there's still a little bit left in here, but that's okay, because we have to fill this jar with water so that the mushrooms are completely submerged. And the yeast that naturally lives on the surface of the mushrooms will ferment them. And so that will be how we preserve these mushrooms. I'm going to pick these little bits off the top and throw them in the stew because I don't want them to spoil my mushrooms. Close the top, check it once every couple of days just to make sure the mushroom material is still below the level of the water, and if it's not, fill up some more water, and then after about 2 weeks or so, depending on how warm your apartment is and how fast this is fermenting, it'll be ready for consumption and it'll be done. So at that point, you can either can it and then the fermentation will stop, or you can put it in the refrigerator and it will continue at a much, much slower rate. And so that's how you ferment Maitake. Just want to label the top real quick so that we know what is in here.